here we are in this fantastic beachside venue, first race in South America here at Punta del Este. What are your initial thoughts of what you've seen here?
Well, we as Formula E are delighted to be here in Uruguay and in Punta del Este. We started working with Punta del Este, with the city, over 2 years ago to prepare this event, and we've been very positively surprised by the facilities, by the track, by all the effort that has been done by the authorities, by our local operator here in Punta del Este to put together this amazing racetrack. And I think this race immediately, and I was talking with many of the teams, with many of our partners, this race is going to become a classic. I think this race in Punta del Este becomes a little bit the Monte Carlo of South America, and the feeling of having the boxes 2 meters from the sand dunes and the beach, and just right next to a racetrack that's probably the fastest racetrack so far in this championship. I think it's going to be for a fantastic show. I think the atmosphere is going to be great here tomorrow, and I want to thank the city of Punta del Este, the governor of Maldonado also, and of Uruguay, and our team here, because they've done a fantastic job. I think this is, like I said, a future classic of Formula E race in Punta del Este.
On the board behind you, we can see the official name of the race is the Julius Baer Punta del Este Group. How important is it for us, Formula E, to have a partnership like that?
Well, we are very grateful to Julius Baer, to our partner Julius Baer. We have to think that Julius Baer is our global partner, so it's a very wide association with Formula E, and we are very happy that they also accepted to be the title sponsor of this race, because this race is the first race that is going to be on a time zone for television that is really on prime time in Europe, and on a very good time in the Americas. And we've been having very strong audiences in these regions, considering that the races were at early hours of the morning. So now with the races at a good slot in terms of the timing during the day, I think we can get very strong audiences, and the brand of our title sponsor Julius Baer and all the other partners that we have, I think they can have a major impact all around the world.
Thanks, Alejandro. Marco, the Swiss private bank Julius Baer entered into a global sponsorship deal with Formula E at the beginning of the season. What does it mean for your company?
So, hola everybody. Yes, Alejandro explained a little bit also the reason, but in the end was a very good decision to be really in this first full electric series, be a global partner. This was very important for Julius Baer. Julius Baer will find in the past a global platform, and we have a means of idea to create these sustainability topics and also next generation. We are find this in this global series, full electric, to sustain also this electric mobility. So we find, okay, this is the right moment to be a global sponsor in this fantastic championship.
As we mentioned, in addition to being the global partner, you're also the title sponsor of this race. Why is that?
Yes, it's clear. We support of the other side. We are a global sponsor, but here it's very important. Alejandro said before the Punta del Este, this region, Latin America. It's very important for the banks. So we are really proud to be here. We dominated all the brand awareness from Julius Baer, but really to give a clear message from Julius Baer here in the region.
Thank you, Marco. Are there any questions from the floor?
Yeah. Next year, obviously, well, first of all, you've done a great job with getting everything off the ground for year one. Great achievements. Year two, obviously, the technology. I know you want to open it up a little bit. Manufacturer-wise, you already have Renault, Audi involved as well. What level of manufacturers do you think could be attracted to Formula E in year two? And also, is it just going to be car manufacturers, or do you think it might be technology companies, battery builders, people like that?
Well, that's a very good question and a difficult one for me to answer because I already know the answer, but I cannot tell. But of what I can tell, which is quite a bit, there was a process, an application process run by FIA, because FIA is actually the regulator that will accept those applications to the manufacturers in this championship. The application process finished on October 31st, and there were 12 applications presented to the FIA. Very interestingly, the applications are a mix of what you mentioned. Some OEMs, car manufacturers, some other type of companies, which are technology companies that could actually be like a really completely different option from what we know now, but could do something like a battery or an electric motor or a full powertrain. But the idea is, and we will define this next week, when we come back from Punta del Este, we will have meetings with the FIA and with the selected manufacturers out of those 12, which could be in a number from anything from 6 to 8. We will have meetings to clearly define the roadmap of the technology development of the championship. And I think that roadmap is going to be very important because we want to define a 5-year roadmap in which is clear where the championship is going to go. We want to define what areas can be developed and what areas cannot. And we really want to focus. The philosophy since the beginning, we said, was to develop the electric powertrain. So we have to see, and we will, limit to the extreme the development in other areas, like aerodynamics, like chassis. What we would like is to use the chassis we have for a number of years, and to have a box where the manufacturers can put whatever they want to put in as in terms of powertrain, but that's it. Of course, there is a lot of fine-tuning. You know that a race car is a very complicated machine with many parts that interlink with each other, but I think we have a pretty clear idea now of the path we're gonna propose. Of course, the last word is FIA, because FIA is the one that defines the technical regulations of the championship. We work together closely with them, and we will work closely with the selected manufacturers. The good news is that we will have quite a number of different powertrains next year. We will have some big names between those, and we hope that we have this technology competition, which is what we want to have to improve the technology. And I think we will have some very clear messages in terms also of where we want to go and what we want to achieve in terms of performance, but especially in terms of autonomy. I think the key of the game, I'm quite happy with the performance. Maybe some other people aren't. I am. I know what it means to put these cars together, and I know where the technology is today. I think the target for me should be to extend the time that these cars can race, and of course the ultimate target is to do the race with one car. So I think that would be an incredibly strong message for the whole electric car concept. So I gave you the main elements of the considerations. Next week there will be, of course, more information. We may do the conclusions public after the break, but all these things are ongoing.